because what I am saying, our people are lame. They are weak. I am struggling to count how many men there are in Biafra land. There are no more men left. Weak, docile, and imbecilic. Weak. I don't know how we can take such people to war. I don't know how we can take men who are not men into battle and win. I am ashamed. Very, very ashamed. Nonetheless, we must preach this very gospel because man did not ask us to come. Chukwu Abiyama in heaven mandated that we should come. If not, that I was called to do this very work, I will not speak to any of you anymore. But Chukwu Abiyama said this very gospel must be preached, and we must preach it. I have prayed since yesterday up until now. My request is very simple. The same prayer I made in secret, I will make out here in the open. Chukwu Abiyama Biko, since it is your that you come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. You come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. Chukwu Abiyama. Because the insult is too much. It is beyond what any human being can endure. We want to go and get Biafra, or we die in the process, because we are better off dead than witness some of this nonsense going on. The level of insult is beyond what any decent human being can tolerate. They bring their cattle into our land. They desecrate our land. They kill us in the presence of our families and nobody does anything about it. And when the police attend, the police sit idly by as people are being killed by not a multitude of people, only four. Only four Awasa people can sack an entire village in Biafra land, and we call ourselves men. No, we are not men until we redeem our honor, until we look at integrity and say we must have a part of it. Until then, to be honest with you. This is Radio Biafra. Now is the time to come forward. I not say tomorrow. Now and then we march. 100 and we march. The rest can come later if they want to. I'm tired of broadcasting. I want to fight for my country. I want to carry arms to defend the death of 6 million people. I want Biafra to stand as a beacon of hope, freedom, and liberty in black world. I want Biafra to stand as a testament to the glory of heaven upon the face of this very earth. I want Biafra to stand because my obligation to the dead outweigh that which I owe to the living. That is why Biafra will stand, and Biafra will come. 100 men, that's all. And we march. The rest can come later on. I no longer give a damn. The disgrace and the insult is too much. We must go and meet our enemies even if we have only machete and hoes. It is far more better for us to go and meet them and die with a semblance of dignity than with this very humiliation which we encounter every blessed day. We must assemble as quickly as possible.
The elites of Nigeria are not the problem of Nigeria. We are not up to 20,000 elites that are stealing Nigerian money. No problem. 100,000 elites. But you have 200 million Nigerians that can fight 100,000 men. And then you see sit down in your house and you're complaining and grumbling. What makes you think that the elites will remove their hands from stealing? If all you do is sit down in your house and grumble and organize one small lecture on how you're feeling. Who told you the elites don't know how you're feeling? They know how you're feeling. They know you're not happy. If they don't know, you will not see them in their girlfriend's house after 6 p.m. You know why? Because they're running away from you. They are scared. But you are helpless, not because the elites want you to be helpless. You are helpless because you make yourself what? Helpless. So why are we gathering here? What survey? What are the survey you bring up today? The elites already know that I was once a governor. The moment I see robbery, kidnapping, I know that there's no money in the society. So Commissioner for Finance pay contractors, pay those who are owing. When you pay, what happens? He pays his workers, he pays his people who are suppliers who have supplied him goods. They in turn go to the market, they buy goods, they pay the tailor, they pay the doctor, the money goes around, and then the crime wave will reduce. I had that board in my office, I checked it regularly. You know how I check it too? By making sure I go to night parties. I'm not a night party person, but I go to clubs with minimal or no security. So I test if my life is under threat, then there's danger, there's problem. What's the problem? Economy. Okay, when you take people, they say Tinubu was not elected by them. So what did you do? What did you do? The same elites who did the election are on the street. What have you done? No, for Christ's sake, until Nigerian citizens stop blaming the elites, nothing will change in Nigeria. Absolutely nothing. The next election may come and go, and somebody puts himself in power. You say, no one, I will only 4 years. After 4 years, he will go. He will come and say 8 years. Nothing will happen. In fact, if one madman comes and says, I want to do life presidency, you will do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just pray that there's no madman that will come and say, I want to do life presidency. Because all he will do is send chief of army staff, IG of police, custom, everybody, and put his home there, carry gun, and you run away. Go to Bangladesh, right? The day they got tired of that woman, what did they do? They chased her out. Go to, is it Peru or Chile? Nigeria is the most docile society I have seen in my life. You're clapping for this. If you line up the thieves here now, you clap for them. You know, I told my wife, I want to Jabba. If I want to Jabba, I want Jabba like people. They will give me official visa to come and stay in their country, any country. She says, no, I can't leave Nigeria. Because Nigeria is lovable. It's lovely. I mean, if you go back to when we were students. And the last time this country saw something that looks like revolution was when we were students, 1983 to 87. Who were the people that fought the military government? Not you. It's all you. NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. ASU, NLC. They are dead. Imagine them arresting somebody who says he was NANS president. In our time, he arrests our president. All the universities in the country will be on strike. If you say tomorrow there is protest and you are coming from town in a taxi, a girl or a boy, they will first of all beat you up before we talk about the government. So everybody must participate. Okay, so we push away the military. Clap for ourselves. Not you, don't clap for yourself. I say clap for myself because I was part of it. And we brought in the politicians. The politicians have shown that they are worse than the military. The military stole money, but they were mindful of how much they were stealing. And they were not showing the public who were stealing. They were denying, were they not? They were not driving Jaguar. They were not driving Rolls Royce. Now, they don't use 504. They don't even use ordinary Toyota cars like our official cars that we use. If you see their convoys now, brand new Mercedes-Benz, bulletproof because they know you are angry. Jaguar, Rolls Royce, nobody stops them for Christ's sake. So what did you call us to come and do? The difference with what you're calling us and this is that why the politicians know that people are not happy, they don't know the number of persons. I think 92% or 98%. So all they can do here now that will be different for what the politicians know is that you put a figure to it. If you say it's a lie, tell a politician to go to Kaduna by night alone. If he goes alone, he will go with a military-sized bulletproof car. Not again with your money. Can we please go home and think? Oh, don't want to die. You mothers. Oh, my child. Professor Sam Amadi taught me in university when I read law. Please tell me, has there been any revolution without blood? Any revolution without blood is rebellion. Please check Bangladesh. Hundreds died. You kill 50 today, they carry the body, go and bury. The next day, early morning, all of them come out. When the woman saw that more persons wanted to die, what happened? She ran away. The same with Peru. Kenya. People stop inviting me to this guy. I will say thank you very much.
Protesting in Nigeria were killed and massacred by the Nigerian army. Now I want to bring this to your attention. The biggest threat in Nigeria, we know what that biggest threat is. It is Boko Haram, organization that has been terrorizing people in Nigeria. For that coward military, Nigerian military, to go after, instead of going after Boko Haram, they go after a bunch of peaceful people who are protesting peacefully.
The Nigerian military are cowards. That was the message, loud and clear, from an Iranian official named Saeed Abdi, speaking publicly about Nigeria's fight against Boko Haram. And honestly, he was being generous, because if we're telling the truth in this country, the military isn't just acting like cowards. It's become a symbol of helplessness, a force with firepower, uniforms, budget, but no results. A force that has turned crying into a strategy and press releases into victory. Now, of course, the headlines tried to soften it. Oh, he didn't mean it that way. He was criticizing the government, not the soldiers. He was misunderstood. But let's cut the games. When the world looks at Nigeria's military, they don't see strength. They don't see discipline. They don't see boldness. They see failure.
Good morning, everyone. Are you hearing? Nigerian militaries are coward. The Iran man did not hide any voice and said they are coward, bunch of coward. Yes, they are not fighting for what they're supposed to fight. They are not fighting for the citizens, they are fighting for their personal interests. They are taking them one after the other and they are keeping mute. That is what they mean coward. The politicians are using them against the citizens. That's why they are cowards. Keep on listening.
They see excuses. They see years of bloodshed and no end in sight. And who do we blame? Foreign powers? No. We blame ourselves. Because no matter how painful it is to admit, we have allowed cowardice to take charge in a country that should be leading Africa's military doctrine. For over a decade now, Boko Haram has held parts of this country hostage. They've bombed schools, kidnapped children, slaughtered farmers, ambushed soldiers, and despite trillions spent and thousands of lives lost, the situation is still the same, if not worse. And yet, what does the military do? They come online, they tweet, they post statements, they warn, they deny, they blame the media. They say things like, technically defeated. They ask citizens to be patient. They give medals for surviving instead of winning. Meanwhile, the people are burying their loved ones. Meanwhile, villages in the Northeast are ghost towns. Meanwhile, women are raising children in IDP camps, still waiting for the day they can go home. And in all this, someone like Ibrahim Traoré, a young, fearless captain in Burkina Faso, shows us what real military leadership looks like. A man who took power not to enrich himself, but to defend his land. He didn't tweet through his insecurity problem. He reorganized, he equipped, he engaged. And today, the Burkinabe people, despite having far fewer resources than Nigeria, are finally breathing again. Compare that to Nigeria, a country with one of the biggest military budgets in West Africa, with drones, with air power, with international training. And still, Boko Haram is a household name. And don't get it twisted, we are not disrespecting the soldiers who are dying in the bush. Those ones are victims of a corrupt and cowardly leadership. Victims of generals who prefer contracts over combat. Victims of a system where the uniforms are heavy, but the command is empty. Because real leadership isn't about press briefings, it's about results. And Saeed Abdi was right to say what many are too afraid to say, that our military, or at least the men leading it, have failed this nation in the worst possible way. They've allowed a terror group to outlive 3 presidents. They've allowed weapons to fall into enemy hands. They've allowed barracks to decay. They've allowed morale to crash. They've allowed the world to mock the so-called giant of Africa. And instead of being angry about the insult, we should be angry about the reality that made the insult possible. Because deep down, we all know, if Nigeria had a Traoré, Boko Haram would be history. If Nigeria had a military with backbone, not backroom deals, the North